Hello and welcome to Complete with DLC, the only show offering you credit if you bought Project Spark. I'm one of your hosts, Brad Knight, and sitting across from me is the bug catcher, Jacob Griffin. Jacob, how you doing today?
Doing alright.
Are you? Are you truly doing okay on this? Is it a good day outside? I haven't looked outside yet.
It's kind of grayish. There are clouds in the skies. It's a little bit chilly.
We're in New England. When aren't there clouds in the sky?
You know what I'm really angry about is that it was like really nice this weekend, and then like Sunday hit, or it might have been Sunday or Monday. I think it was Sunday actually, because yesterday was Monday. Freezing out. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it went from it was almost in the 70s. It was really, really nice, and then it just went away.
And it was just like, sorry, were you enjoying that?
Yeah,
Sorry.
It's the only summer you're getting this year.
Yeah.
Hope you enjoyed it.
Imagine when summer hits if it's like freaking like 110 every day.
I would be very, very sad because I hate warm weather.
I would stay inside.
Yeah, because we weren't going to do that already.
I mean, you know what I mean. Like, any chance that I had of going outside would have just been immediately dashed.
Yeah, it's gone. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the warmer weather, but, you know, I'll make do if necessary.
How was your weekend?
It was alright. I got a lot of stuff done. I actually had a very productive weekend.
That's surprising.
It is, which is, you know, it's unusual for me. Usually my weekends are the least productive part of my week, but, you know, I enjoy having productive weekends because, you know, then you can start the week feeling like you don't need to do anything because you already did all the work.
I had a generally productive weekend as well.
Wow, this is unusual for both of us.
Like Friday, we recorded all that stuff, and then Saturday, Saturday night, I edited, like, that video that we put out of the questions that I asked you. And I sent you a video of my editing timeline. Not a video, a picture of my editing timeline. You were like, you're a madman.
Yeah, you're out of your mind. It's probably the most editing we've ever put into a single video.
And that video took even longer because, a little behind the scenes here, the audio was screwed up in the audio recording through Audacity. Audacity is just a terrible program. I'm just going to say that off the bat, right? It's great because it's a free piece of software to do this with, but it's just awful because it always messes up. But luckily, good thing that before we started recording, I set the crappy webcam to record the audio from the microphone because then we had audio.
Yeah.
So then I could just cut between the two of them. But the problem was that when I rendered the video, it had to render two videos at once, technically.
And it didn't like that.
No, it didn't. It took, 12 hours or something like that. It was, ridiculous.
You see, guys, we learned from our mistakes. If that mistake had happened last time, or, you know, a few months ago, we would have had to scrap the whole project. We wouldn't have been prepared.
Exactly, no. And see, it's just dumb luck that we fell into that, though.
Yes, absolutely dumb luck.
Yeah.
But that's most of what we do here, is just, we just stumble along until something lucky happens, and we try to capitalize off that luck.
We fail our way to the tops.
Exactly.
Just pissing in the wind. That's the story. That'll be like when they write the biography of Complete with DLC, that'll be the title. Just
yeah.
Pissing in the wind.
So you want to get into what we're playing, Jacob?
I'd love to.
Alright, Jacob, let's get right into it here. What have you been playing this weekend? I think I already know the answer.
I finished Uncharted 4.
Did you? You kept your promise that you'd talk about it on the Tuesday show.
Yeah. I don't want to talk a lot about it, mainly because I think that everyone should go into this game, especially, I would even make the caveat of you need to play the first 3 Uncharteds to play this, because, you won't have any of the emotional moments that I had, where, I got legitimately choked up at the end of this, because I was like, this is, the end of, one of my favorite gaming franchises.
Yeah, and you've sort of grown an attachment to these characters as you followed them through all the games, and, you know, no matter what medium you're in, video games, movies, books, no matter what it is, if you get to the end of a character's adventure, it's always sad.
Yeah, and, I've just grown, a legitimate attachment to, these characters, especially, I grew up playing, the first 3 Uncharted games, when I was young and I first got my PS3, those were, the top of games to me. I just thought they were, the greatest thing in the world. And then playing through the trilogy again, a couple months ago, I talked about it on the show when I did it. It was, amazing to go back and play those games again. And then now just playing this one, it's just, wow. This series is, I dare say, no other series could top this. Maybe if they made a good Last of Us sequel, which I don't even want them to make a Last of Us sequel given how The Last of Us ends. I think it would just be great if it just ends on that note. But like if they made like a great Last of Us sequel, like I don't even know if it could like hit me like Uncharted 4 did.
Yeah, that's the series that you hold dearest, and everybody has one.
Mm. But you were telling me before the show that you don't have any attachment to the Uncharted franchise.
Not particularly. I have all 3 games. Well, 3 of the games. I can't say all 3 now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've played maybe, I think I've said this on the show before, but I've played like an hour or so of each of them, and they're fun games. But nothing like hooked me when I was playing them.
2 things I think I've identified your problem with this, because I just remember this from back in the day and I completely forgot. I've never questioned you on it since then. You don't play games with sound because you're a weird bird.
Yeah, I most of the time I have sound off because I'm listening to something else.
The thing is with Uncharted is it's presenting itself as if it's like a movie. That's point number 2. You don't like movies.
Yeah, so everything is working against this game for me.
Yeah, so it presents itself like a movie, so you need that sort of like I don't want to say full body experience, but like you know what I mean. Like you need to be able to hear it and see it, and
yeah, if you take any piece of the puzzle out, it's not a complete puzzle anymore.
Exactly, and I think like maybe if you were to say change your weird ways for like maybe just these 3 games that like 10 hours a piece, that's 30 hours. You spent probably more time than that in The Witcher.
Oh, yes.
You could just take that time to actually play a game with sound and be, like, invested in a video game. I think you'd enjoy it a lot better.
Yeah, I always give a game a try at, like, the full experience. I did it with The Witcher. I don't remember if I did it with Uncharted. I honestly can't remember. I haven't played them in a very long time. But I'll always give a game a try with, the audio, the music, everything. I'll play it as a normal human being once, and then after that first playthrough or after that first session, I decide whether or not I'm going to continue with playing it like a normal person or play it the way that I play it.
Right.
And very few games do I play like a normal person. I think the only one in recent history has been Witcher 3, just because I love the voice acting and some of the music in that game is amazing. So it's the only game in recent memory that I can think of.
Right.
But I'll go back and I'll give it a try. I'll see what I can do.
I'd say, like, because you're obviously going to start with the first one. Play the first one and give it a little bit longer than, like, an hour. Because, like, it takes a little bit to get going, the first one. Because, like, it's, like, the first adventure of Nathan Drake.
Yeah.
So just give it a little bit longer. But, like, man, number 4, though, some of the spectacle in that game is just crazy.
You enjoyed it?
Yeah, like, there's just, like, this one sequence that's kind of amazing where, like, you're driving a Jeep through a city and, like, a truck with, like, a turret on it is, like, chasing you and, like, crashing through buildings. And then eventually you get to, like, the end of the road and Nathan Drake has to, like attach his rope to a truck and he's, like, swinging over the water and crashing into stuff.
Isn't that the sequence we saw at E3?
Yeah, they did. They showed it at E3. That's why I'm talking about it so much. It's like, it's towards the middle of the game. That's why I'm talking about it so much, is that you've seen it. But, like, he's just, like, he's climbing through the mud. He's shooting at people in trucks. And then he's, like, he's on a bike at the end and he's shooting at this truck with the turret with an Uzi. It's just, like, it's nuts. And it's just, like, you watch this sequence in long... It's, like, it's basically just, like, this one long take of just stuff happening. You're jumping from Jeep to truck to back to Jeep again, crashing bikes. And it's just, like, it's nuts. All video games should strive to be Uncharted.
It's nice that the franchise that your sort of pioneer franchise has found its way to a good end. I'm glad that you enjoyed it. Unfortunately, my series doesn't seem to be heading in that direction. So,
What's your series?
I would say mine is Halo.
Yeah,
Halo was the first game that I had that up to that point I had played things like the N64 with Super Mario with Mario 64 and like Pokemon Stadium and things like that. And the first Halo game came out and I was maybe about 7 or 8 at the time, and it was the first game that I had played that I was like, oh, this is what video games could be.
right.
And this was big boy games now. Was what I thought of it at the time, and that's what sort of hooked me on that franchise. And I've been following it ever since with, the books and the animated movies and stuff. And unfortunately, I'm not very happy with where the series is going. But that's a separate issue for another show.
My thing with Halo is I think it'll end up just keep it, like, it will keep going till the end of time, but, like, I don't know if, like, Master Chief will stick around forever.
The only two people I care about right now are Master Chief and Cortana, and unfortunately they're ruining Cortana for me, which by extension is going to end up ruining Master Chief.
Right. Like, I think eventually, like, maybe at the end of this, what they called the Reclaimer trilogy, like, maybe after 6, maybe they're done with Master Chief for a while, and they just keep doing, like, spin-off games set in the same universe.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Which I would actually be kind of down for that.
Yeah.
Actually.
They have a very large lore that they could explore. Somebody pitched the idea the other day of, I say the other day, this was like a few months ago that I read this, of a survival horror game. Like a, not Outlast style, but like, so maybe more early Resident Evil style, I guess is what I'm trying to say. With,
Right.
You play as just a normal Marine instead of a Spartan, and you're going up against the Flood, because the Flood is a terrifying enemy.
Yeah.
It's a living parasite that, like, takes people over, and, like, they're all alive while this is happening, so it's absolutely terrifying.
Mm.
And somebody, they're talking about how that would be cool to see through the eyes of a Marine who would be terrified of watching his friends get eaten up by this parasite. But
imagine, like, a No Man's Sky style game set in the Halo universe.
yeah, they have a lot of possibilities with that lore, but it's a, my grievances with the Halo series is a very long topic, so I won't drag it on any longer than it needs to. But you enjoyed Uncharted 4?
I loved it.
That's really good to hear. I was
It's
worried.
It's my favorite game of the year so far, and I don't see anything else really topping it coming up this year.
Well, you have No Man's Sky. Don't forget.
Oh yeah,
A game,
well,
a game we have talked about repeatedly.
I think No Man's Sky is going to be good. In all honesty, like, now that I know more about what the actual game is and how it works, like, I think it's going to be a good, fun game. But, like, I don't know if it'll hit me as emotionally as Uncharted did. Because, like, I think that's, like, an important part of games. Is, like, if you, like, emotionally resonate with something, then, like, you'll enjoy it more, I think, right?
Oh, absolutely.
And, like, while it could be emotional to go around a galaxy, like, you'd be like, I've always wanted to do this since I was a kid. Like, I just don't see it, like, being like, oh, man, like, my favorite franchise in gaming is coming to an end.
Yeah, there are no characters in No Man's Sky that you care about. There are no interactions that you want to see or don't want to see, and there's much less at stake for a game like that. Whereas, and like you said, an emotional attachment is very important, no matter what medium you're in. Video games, in anything, any sort of entertainment, you need to have an emotional attachment to characters and to the story for it to really sort of sink in with you.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Well, the year is still early, Jacob. We'll see if anything uproots Uncharted 4 for you. But
What have you been playing this week, Brad?
so first I'll talk about the new games I've been playing this week, and one of them is I'm gonna forget how to pronounce this name. I think it's like Tsushima or something. It was free on PlayStation a while ago. It's this side-scrolling shooter. Like Galaga style, except every level's like really quick, and you have like a different mechanic every level. Is now you have 3 guns instead of 2, or now you shoot laser beams, or now your gun is the spirit bomb from Dragon Ball Z, and it's all these weird things that happen every level, and they all change.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
It is, but I hate it.
Is it because it's a shoot 'em up?
No, it's just that I got bored almost immediately.
Oh.
So there aren't a lot of options. It's an indie game, you can tell, because it's very limited in what you can do, but it's not a bad thing. There's the difficulty settings. It's easy, medium, hard, and then there's a boss rush mode that you can just go through and fight all the bosses in a row, like
Right.
most of these games have. So I went in, I jumped in on medium, and I played as this little orange fish guy with big buff, like steroid human arms holding a laser gun, and I'm shooting squids and sharks who shoot laser beams back at me, and then I fight a submarine, and I'm doing all these things which sound really cool, but like the gameplay to me felt very repetitive, despite the fact that it changes up every round.
Hmm.
And I don't know, I got bored almost immediately. I only played it for like 2 or 3 hours, but I was like, all right, I don't think I'm ever coming back to this again.
So what's it called?
Like Tsushima. Let me Google it real quick while I
Tsushima. That sounds. I want to. If it was a free PlayStation game, I probably downloaded it and just never played it. That sounds interesting. I'd like to try that out.
Oh, yep, here it is. Tsushima. It's shut and then shimi. But-
Tsushima.
Yeah, but it has a little like accent over the
Right.
over the U. and it's got a goldfish with steroid human arms and a laser gun.
So are you moving sideways, or are you aiming up?
You're moving sideways.
Moving sideways.
Yeah.
Did you ever play Resogun?
No.
It was free on PlayStation.
No.
It was kind of cool. It was like it was kind of like, like a sideways sort of Galaga type thing. It was it was like a dual stick shooter kind of, where you could move around in this like circle, and you were going sideways, and then you'd shoot with the right stick in whatever direction you were aiming the stick, and all these little like I don't know how to describe it, because they weren't really like, some were spaceship shaped, and then others were like diamond shape, or like they kind of looked like turtles, but they were like a turret and stuff. And they were all like made of like these pixels, so whenever they'd blow up in like these like little square pixels. It was really fun. And it was kind of the way you were describing this. It reminded me of that game, except it doesn't have any of the like variety like you're talking about. Like it's all just like you upgrade your guy, and then you go through these levels, and they get harder and harder, and the techno music gets better and better.
Yeah.
So I was wondering if you tried that out, because I was curious what your opinion on that is. I like that game a lot, but
yeah. So maybe you'll like this one. But yeah. I honestly I didn't really enjoy it. I got kind of bored pretty quickly. The other new game that I played this week was Towerfall Ascension.
Oh my god, I love that game.
Not a new game by any means.
No.
But I found out that I'm awful at it.
Really?
Yeah, I'm terrible at it, and by extension, I don't like it.
That would be a fun series to do, because whenever my friend Ryan comes over, we always end up playing that game, and it's so fun to play.
Yeah, I played it for maybe a half hour, 45 minutes maybe, and I don't know, it didn't it didn't resonate with me. I realized pretty quickly that I'm not good at this game.
What about it didn't? Why aren't you good at it?
I don't know. Something about the way you feel as you're moving around. The movement feels weird to me. I don't want to call it sluggish, but it feels sort of sluggish. I don't know. It's tough to describe. The shooting mechanic I thought was kind of cool, at least. The fact that you can use sort of an environmental puzzle aspect of it, like you can shoot upwards through the gap and it'll pop up below. I thought that was really cool. That's a really, really good way to innovate the sort of just the stereotypical arena map design of games. So I appreciated that, but I don't know. I don't see myself going back to it.
I like that you can shoot someone's arrow out of the air.
Yeah, there are a lot of really cool interactions like that, and there are all the different arrow power-ups, and they interact differently when they hit each other. There's a lot of
bramble one and the bomb one.
Yeah, there's a lot of really, really cool stuff, and it's not like I went into this game blind. I've seen plenty of video footage and a lot of other YouTubers playing this series, so I knew what to expect going in. But I think I had a sort of delusion about it, because everybody I watched was pretty good at the game, and I played it and I sucked, so...
You were like me, being Brad Knight of all people. I'm going to go in there and just master it.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'll go back when I'm... I think what really sort of tainted it for me was I went into it in a sort of frustrated mood, because I had just finished playing Bloodborne.
Oh.
Yeah, and I was getting annoyed, so I'm like, alright, I'm going to play something else for a bit, and I went into that, and then I sucked immediately, and got even more frustrated, so I'm like, alright, you know what, no, I'm not playing anything anymore, I'm going to go do something else.
Right.
But yeah, those are the two new games I played this week, where, I wish I knew how to pronounce it. I think it's Tsuchimi, and, Towerfall Ascension. Other than that, it's the usual, Dark Souls 1 and 2, and Bloodborne, and I'm making huge progress in all three games. I'm very happy with that.
I'm still on the first boss of Dark Souls 1.
Oh, have you gone back and tried it?
Yeah.
My tip to you is just try to do the lunge attack on him, the dropping attack. Run to the other side of the bridge so he chases you, and then try to run back and get to the ladder before he can hit you again.
Right. I can't even get to him at this point. Like, I keep dying on my way to him.
It's one of those games where progress is how well can you do the same area over and over. Like, progress in Dark Souls means that you can now complete the area you've been in for the last hour with only taking 1 or 2 hits. I was
doing all right when we were together. It's the second we got apart that I did awful.
It just fell apart.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll have to try Bloodborne, see if you like that one. anybody who's listening who's played Bloodborne,
Bloodborne.
I beat Cleric Beast and Father Gascoigne, and I'm just before the end of Old Yarnum, I think it's called. I am almost done with that area, so to give you a frame of reference for what huge progress means to me, I've beaten literally 2 bosses and I just got out of the first area.
Great job.
I think I figured out my problem with that game, though, was I've been playing it like a Dark Souls game.
Right, and you need to be playing it like a Bloodborne.
Yeah, and they're two totally... Like, I accepted the fact that I don't have a shield. It still bugs me, but I know I don't have a shield. But the problem was I was playing like I still had a shield. And they sort of teach you in Bloodborne that shields are awful, because there's only one shield in the game. It's a wooden shield. And you see some of the enemies, some of the normal foot soldier guys carrying them throughout the game, and you can get some of them. But it teaches you through the whole game that these shields are awful, because you break through them yourself immediately. So you're like, if I can do this, what are enemies going to do to these shields? Right? So it sort of grains it in your head that you're no shields for you. You're on your own. But so once I sort of started playing it like I don't have a shield, and like this is a Bloodborne game and I can't be defensive, I have to be offensive, I started doing much better. So I will continually report back on my progress each week with that and see how long it takes me to beat that game. I suspect it's going to be a while because I am playing a waste of skin run.
Right.
But yeah, that's basically what I've been playing. This has been a really long What We're Playing segment. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, we're at like 21 minutes.
Yeah, it looks like some news stories are getting cut, but that's fine.
That's fine.
Speaking of which...
Stuff that doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's not important stuff, guys. I swear.
Yeah, all the important stuff is going to stay in the show.
Yes. Because, we're no strangers to going really, really long. But
yeah.
Speaking of which, let's get into what we're playing. What segment of the show are we in? News? Yeah,
news.
Let's do the news one.
That's what happens when you get an amateur to host the show.
Yeah, I've only been doing it for like 3 weeks, guys. Give me a break here, okay? That and... I don't know. I was going to make an excuse, but there's no excuse, guys. I'm sorry. Accept my apology. And if you won't accept my apology, then how about accept this? Pokemon Go is coming. And they're going to do a stateside test, a field test. So if you're interested in this, I will give you a link to the pre-registration that you can sign up for. It asks you for your email, and like 4 things. It's like your email, what type of phone you had, either iOS or Android, and, no Windows users. And what you wanted your guy to start at, like level 1, and what you wanted his name to be. So you can start at, like, level 16, if I understood that correctly, which is really weird to me, that you could pick what level you wanted to start at.
I didn't even do that because I didn't know what that was, so it was just like, I left it blank.
I assumed it was your player. I don't know. I put it as 1 just because, whatever. I'll start at the beginning. I don't care.
It said it was optional, so I just left it blank, thinking that I guess I'll just put me at 1. I don't know.
Yeah, so we'll see. But I'll give you a link to the pre-registration. But Pokemon Go, users who are invited to try out the app will be required to keep its content confidential, according to the website. So if either Jacob or myself do get into this, unfortunately we won't be able to talk about it on the show. Which
now, is that only for a certain amount of time?
Yes, it's from what I understand, it's an NDA. So as soon as they say it's okay to talk about it, then we'll be able to talk about it. But up until then, we won't be able to say anything. Similar to what just happened with the NVIDIA graphics cards I was talking to Jacob about off the air. The NDA just released today, and there have been a flood of videos, and I'm very happy about them. And that's a content for another show.
We could get sued if we talked about Pokemon Go. Yes,
so like I said, if either Jacob or us get into it, Jacob or I get into it, then we won't be able to talk about it. But, they almost also have an Android or iOS device to access the field test. Any progress made during the pre-release will be wiped before the full game comes out later this year. In fact, it will be wiped multiple times during the course of the field test as well, according to Niantic. And Niantic Labs are the guys who are doing this. And, for your email, it needs to be a Gmail account. Because
Which is weird.
It's because of Niantic. Niantic is, I think, spun off of them.
I think because I know Google made, like, the last game they did was called Ingress. It was kind of like, it was the same sort of thing where it was something about, like, aliens or something like that in the regular world, but you had to go to places and do stuff to, like, whatever, like, the base or something like that. You were part of the resistance or something like that. Yeah. But Google made it, so.
Yeah.
And, like, I think it runs off Google Maps, too.
Yeah, so I looked quickly, and Niantic Labs used to be a part of Alphabet but they spun off last year. But despite that, they're still very familiar with Google systems, which is why they want to use Google emails. But anyway, we have a little quote here from them too, so you can know what to expect. And it says, "Please note the app is still in active development, so it has a limited set of features at the moment, and there may be things that don't work properly." This is from the development team. And so that's basically all we know right now. Is there was no release date for when this is going to happen, or what features are going to be excluded or included. We know very little, just that it's coming. But what we do know is that Pokemon Go is an Ingress-style mobile game that encourages players to explore the real outdoors in order to catch a variety of Pokemon. So,
Are you excited about this?
I am actually very excited about this because I'm curious as to what it's going to be like. I feel like there are so many. They've told us so little, and there are so many different variations of how this could play out based on what they've told us, that it could be a very, very interesting game, or it could be a terrible game.
Right.
So I'm curious to see what it's going to end up being.
Yeah. I hope it's good.
Yeah, I mean,
Because
this is the first time they've tried a mobile game, though, so keep that in mind.
it could either be very good or very bad.
Yeah, we'll see. Speaking of very bad games, Microsoft is shutting down Project Spark.
Project Spark is alright.
Let's not damage our integrity here, Jacob. So
It's like a too difficult to make for version of like Little Big Planet.
that's actually exactly what it is. So Microsoft and developer Team Dakota are killing off Project Spark, which is their game-making tool for Xbox One and Windows PC. I forgot it was on Windows PC. So Project Spark will no longer be available for download from the Xbox Store or Windows Store after today, May 13th. Unfortunately, today is no longer May 13th. Today is May 17th. So if you're hearing this, it's already gone, guys. Sorry.
Oh no.
Yeah, sorry. So online services, including the ability to download and upload user-generated content, will be unavailable after August 12th, according to an update posted to the Project Spark forums. This is an extremely difficult decision for our team that we do not take lightly, Team Dakota community manager Tom Gratz said in a statement. That's a phrase we hear a lot, isn't it? We do not take lightly.
Yeah, they all say that.
Yeah,
it's PR speak.
PR speak. So when Project Spark transitioned away from the active development last fall, many of our team members moved to other projects within Microsoft Studios. While this means there have been no layoffs at Microsoft, it also means it's simply no longer feasible to continue the behind-the-scenes work involved with keeping Project Spark up and running with meaningful updates and bug fixes. So we have come to this hard decision. Microsoft says it will offer credit that can be used in the Xbox or Windows Store to players who purchased a retail copy of Project Spark. So
How much a retail copy of Project Spark was?
too much. I don't really think anybody would want to buy that. I'm gonna assume you're Googling it.
I am.
Oh, I was too. So let's see.
All doing it together. Let's see who gets there first.
Yeah. Oh no, I just got 17 things about the game being closed.
News: Project Spark sunset. What is that? Oh, that's it being closed.
Let's just say that any amount you paid for the game would be too much.
Probably. And they did that weird remake of Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Yeah, and I'm really sad that they used Conker's face for that game because it sort of smeared his reputation a little bit.
Yeah, it's not the first time. Conker's getting put on everything that's kind of Microsoft based.
I mean, they already, they dragged Banjo and Kazooie through the mud, so now it's, then it was Conker's turn, and we'll see who's up next, but stop ruining old Rare titles, Microsoft. What are you doing?
Boom. GameStop. 0 results for Project Spark at GameStop.
You can't buy it anymore.
What do you even mean? Can't tell me what the price of it is?
I'm surprised they already removed it. I would have figured they'd be like a not available in store right now button until they removed it from the site, but
Or even they have used... I guess maybe they have to get rid of all the used copies they have now then, I guess.
Yeah, what are they going to do with all the used copies? Because I can imagine there's a lot of them.
You can't really sell a game that...
Isn't being worked on anymore. It's officially canceled.
I mean, the thing is like, most of the time, if a game's, like, multiplayer gets shut down, you can still sell it, because there's, like, at least, like, a single-player component to it. Like, this game was all just downloadable levels.
Yeah, it was like, if Titanfall were to cancel their servers, they wouldn't be able to sell the game anymore.
Yeah, they wouldn't. You're right.
So, I don't know. We'll see. It's an unfortunate, situation.
The GameStop website is incredibly poorly designed.
It is, and I'm still annoyed that I get coupon emails from them every week, but I'm not that annoyed because they usually do give me good savings, so.
I mean, I had
Damn
to
you,
get Uncharted
GameStop.
4 from there.
Yeah.
and I traded in games, and I only had to pay 14 cents for it.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Speaking of unfortunate situations, Nintendo will start producing its own movies over the next few years.
I mean, this could be good. I don't know how this is an unfortunate situation.
Because I'm thinking of all the old Nintendo movies, and
The one Nintendo movie, you mean?
yeah. You know, I read an article the other day about after I heard this story. Nintendo actually bought the rights to all of the porn parodies to the Mario movie. That way, they couldn't be produced anymore.
So they own, like, This Ain't Mario Triple X, the porn parody or something like that.
Yeah,
or like,
any porn parody made of the movie that they made, they bought the rights to, so it wouldn't be produced anymore.
Super Mario Blowers or something.
Oh yeah, whatever it's called. So
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting. It's an interesting marketing strategy from Nintendo. But
Have you ever seen that movie?
I have the porn parody or the actual
No,
movie?
the actual movie.
I mean, the answer's no either way, so I don't know why I specified.
The actual movie, while not being a good movie, it's definitely not the worst video game movie I've ever seen.
My brother just talked about this the other day. You know, the Angry Birds is now the best video game movie ever made.
Yeah, isn't that... Well, the thing is with that, right? Their IP is so thin that they can make literally any story they want as long as it features the Angry Birds fighting pigs, and it would be fine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They could literally make a movie that was like the Angry Birds are having a holocaust against the pigs, and it would be basically just like remake Schindler's List, but with pigs and birds, and it would still be a good video game movie because you can do whatever you want with those characters.
I'm picturing a little Hitler pig.
Imagine just like the red bird is like Oscar Schindler, and he looks like Liam Neeson, and he's like, should be crazy.
The scene where he's like, I couldn't save them all, and he's like oinking hysterically. Oh, that's awful. I feel bad for making light of a terrible situation. But anyway,
This is literally like one of the worst jokes we've ever made on the show.
Yeah.
Not like worst in like quality of joke.
just
but...
worst. It was in bad taste.
Yeah.
We apologize. But speaking
No, we
of
don't.
things,
We stand by it.
whatever. Speaking of things that should probably be apologized for, Nintendo. We should probably get back to the actual news story. Nintendo is making their own movies, and after plummeting revenue, Nintendo is looking for new avenues to generate income. Because it was said the other day that PlayStation Network is now larger than all of Nintendo, which was a shocking revelation. But,
Yeah, just PlayStation Network.
yeah, which is not all that surprising, I guess, because PlayStation Network is actually a lot bigger than people realize. It has their fingers in a lot of pies. Anyway, they're going to be producing its own feature film. So Nintendo President Tatsumi Kimishima told the Asahi Shimbun, that's a mouthful of a sentence, which is it's a newspaper in Japan, and the company was looking into producing its own films for the first time instead of just licensing out its characters like it usually does. In order to do so, Nintendo would partner with different studios, but Kimishima was adamant that creative control would remain within the publisher's hands. Kimishima also said that they weren't looking into live-action films at this time. Thank you.
I will say that's probably a good decision.
Yes, it's a very good decision. Although the keeping all of the creative control in the publisher's hands is going to rub some studios the wrong way. So I imagine they're going to see some...
I think that's how Ubisoft is doing it now.
It wouldn't surprise me. But it's going to rub some people the wrong way, so I wouldn't be surprised if they run into a limited number of people willing to work with them.
Like Ubisoft ran they started a new film division, and they're making the new Assassin's Creed movie, and they have, I think, a Splinter Cell movie in the works and stuff like that. So, but I think they're in creative control for like Assassin's Creed and stuff.
Yeah, it's not an uncommon thing to want to make sure that your intellectual property isn't damaged. But Kimishima told the paper that they were currently looking at different studios around the world and were open to production companies being outside of Japan, which is actually a bigger deal than most people realize. Traditionally, Japanese companies are very in-house. They don't outsource anything. And you see this, I bring it up again, but anime. They're very, very in-house. Westerners are just... They might as well not exist in terms of any creative control they may have in anything. So
Right.
for Nintendo to be looking outside of Japan for production companies, that's a much bigger deal than people realize.
Well, apparently too, talking about this, but I guess it's still technically a Japanese company. Like back in, 2014 when that Sony hack happened?
Yeah.
Because of the interview. Like all their emails got released, and there was apparently like a producer there who got the rights to the Mario movie, or he was like close to closing the deal for the rights to like an animated Mario movie. And so, I mean, who knows? This could just be like, you know, the next steps of doing that.
Yeah. I would go through the rest of this article, but it simply repeats itself over and over and over again. So shame on you, Polygon.
What do you think of these movies? Like, do you think they could be good or bad or?
Since they're not going to be live action, I think they'll be fine.
Yeah, I say that, but then Ratchet and Clank just came out.
True. How the hell can we not beat the Angry Birds, guys? Come on. Somebody make a movie better than Angry Birds and I'll be happy. I cannot in good conscience. If somebody came up to me and said, "What is the best video game movie?" You're a video game guy. I want to watch the best video game movie there is. I cannot
tell them Mortal Kombat.
I can't. Oh my God, you are literally the same person as my brother.
Mortal Kombat is the sweetest movie ever made. The only thing that would make it better is if it was rated R, not PG-13.
I can't in good conscience tell them to watch the Angry Birds movie. I'm praying Assassin's Creed beats it. If it doesn't, I'm going to be very depressed.
I mean, I read a news story the other day that it's like 65% the future, 35% the past, so who knows?
God damn it. God.
But I was going to say, as a person who, with his friend, tried to write the Nintendo Cinematic Universe, this could be pretty interesting.
It could be. Well,
I told you about that, right?
Yes.
How we came up with casting for it, and it was eventually going to culminate in the Super Smash Bros. Movie?
Yes, it was a giant Nintendo Avengers allegory, essentially.
Essentially. The way it worked was that there was going to be some crossover there, and, like, you know, some stuff from, like, other movies would show up in Legend of Zelda, and like because Ganon would have like a trophy room and it had like a mushroom in it, whatever. The whole point being is that we were basically gonna make a CGI Star Fox movie though, so that would have been kind of dumb in the end.
Did you know that Nintendo had a 45% stake in Seattle's baseball team?
We literally talked about this like when they sold off all their stock.
Did they? Did we? I don't remember that.
We might have talked about it off air. I don't know if we talked about it on the show.
I think we talked about it off air because I don't recall it being on any of the episodes that I've edited. But that's really weird to me for some reason.
It was something like because baseball's huge in Japan. It's like their biggest sport over there. It's kind of like how it's America's pastime, but Japan I think loves it more than America. And the Seattle Mariners were gonna move because like it was just like too much money to stay in Seattle, and so Nintendo bought up their shares so that way they could stay in Seattle.
Yeah, and they've since been losing. They've been just bleeding money for a long time, so they had to sell off their stock, which is sad.
And you know what? Now it makes sense to me because I remember a long time ago I went out to dinner and saw like a baseball game on the TV and noticed there was like a Splatoon ad right behind home plate, and I was like, that's odd to advertise Splatoon behind home plate, but it probably was just a Mariners game.
Yeah. I don't know. It's something to be look forward to, but
if they don't make a cinematic universe, they're just wasting their time.
I don't foresee it being a cinematic universe because I'd
get a Smash Brothers movie going. That would make tons of money.
You see, that would be the only way they could do it because there's no continuity between any of the games except in Smash Brothers.
That's what I'm talking about.
With
is like
the only occasional Easter egg in a few games, I think.
Is boom, you could just make that whole universe out and then have it all come together in Smash Brothers. You can't just make all these separate movies and then just be like, oh, there's going to be a Smash Brothers movie too. Not explaining where they come from or anything.
Well, it'd be weird, right? But Smash Brothers follows like the hand and like this mystical being who controls everything because they're only like little figurines in reality, and you're getting way too existential for a movie, in my opinion.
Just change that. Don't make him an actual hand.
What would you make him then?
Just make him a guy, but call him the hand.
But do you still keep their only statues in real life? Because it's actually only a kid's imagination bringing them to life. Because that's really all the whole thing is.
No. Just cut all that weird stuff out. Just make it
just cut up the entire story of Smash Brothers as if there's one to begin with.
It could be like an apocalypse type thing off of X-Men, where he just like. He controls everything and he brings all these universes together. And maybe there's like little Easter eggs in each movie that show that they're connected somehow. And then you find out it's the hand controlling it. Maybe making them figurines. Maybe he's some guy who wants to control the Nintendo universe.
God.
I just wrote this movie for you.
And I don't want to see is what I've learned. But moving on. Best Buy has been listing dates for a Modern Warfare Trilogy collection, but it's only for last gen.
It's weird.
Yeah, for 3.
It's a weird, especially after the announcement of Modern Warfare Remastered. The fact that this is coming out.
Yeah, it's really weird. I don't actually know what to think of it, but
They should make it backwards compatible.
that's the only reason I can think of why this would exist. But
And then make a Black Ops duology. No, not a trilogy.
yeah, I don't think they put the third one in. It's still too new.
Well, if it's gonna be, maybe they're doing like last gen collections, it would only be the duology. Oh no, because the third one is also on last gen too.
Yeah, it is.
So
And
yeah, maybe they would do the trilogy.
I don't think duology is a word, Jacob.
No, duology is a word. It's gotta be.
I don't think it. You Google that while I read the story. So, Modern Warfare Trilogy is coming to PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. It actually came out today, May 17th, and it's $30. And it's supposedly it's gonna bring together all 3 games plus an extra map pack. I don't know anything about the extra map pack, but the Best Buy's listing mentions that the case houses 3 discs, 1 for each game. Modern Warfare 2's Stimulus Package download content, which comes with 5 bonus maps, is also contained in this set. And it was first spotted on Twitter through a little picture.
The dictionary definition of duology is a pair of related novels, plays, or movies, and I'm going to assume that this definition was written a long time ago, so I'm also going to extend that to video games.
Yeah, I think you can just say media.
Yeah.
So, alright, fine.
Yeah.
I'm not accepting it as a word.
Up yours.
Yeah, so, I don't,
What do you think of this? $30 for all 3 of them is not bad. The third one's garbage, but
yeah, not bad at all. Seeing as I bought, I think there already is a collection for Black Ops 1 and 2.
yeah, I think you can buy those 2 together.
Yeah, I think
duology.
Yeah, I have it, actually. So, it does exist.
Yes.
So, I don't know. It's fine. It's whatever. I don't think much of it, but it was a bad time to release this, is what I will say.
Yeah, especially just because they just announced
The Modern Warfare remake.
yeah.
And
So like, it confuses things, right?
yeah,
For anyone just looking at this from the outside in.
yeah. Anybody who's not up to date on video game could be very confused as to, well, what's the difference between the Modern Warfare and that one and this one, you know? But it's after the whole backlash with Infinite Warfare and how, you know, people are only going to buy it for Modern Warfare, and then you come out with this, it was bad timing, guys. Just, you know, let the pot cool and then drop a new thing in there.
If they made the 3 of these backwards compatible, it'd be done.
I mean, I can't think of another reason as to why this would exist.
Yeah, I mean, well, no, because it's all 3 separate games, so it's just a collection to buy them in, but like it would still have to be all 3 games getting added to backwards compatible, which I couldn't see them adding the first Modern Warfare, because then be like, what's the reason to buy Modern Warfare Remastered? Other than it looks better and it runs at 60 FPS
and the new servers and all the other stuff. So I don't know. I don't know. Truth is, I just don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
But here's something I do know. And what I do know is that Razer is about to open their first store in United States on May 21st.
In United States or in the United States?
No, in these states united. And this is actually a pretty cool thing because this is, like I said, it's the first time they've had a store here. Up until this point, they've only had it in Bangkok and Taipei, and I believe a third store in a place I can't pronounce. So, I mean, so what the store is going to be is primarily Razer's been an online-only retailer, but now that they have this store in San Francisco is where it's going to be. It's in the Westfield Shopping Center if you're native to the San Fran area.
Let's go to San Fran.
Yeah.
Check it out.
Yeah, so if you are going to go there, what it's going to be is it's going to allow you to test out all their mice, their keyboards, their headsets, all the stuff that they sell. Right now, I believe it's only confirmed for mice, keyboards, and headsets. I don't know if it's going to let you test anything else, like their microphones or anything like that. It'd be cool if they did. But you can test them out before you buy them. So they'll have like samples, like a Walmart or a Best Buy would. If anybody still goes to Best Buy, don't go to Best Buy.
Don't go to Best Buy. it's we've talked many times on our feelings on Best Buy.
Oh, Manila was the other place. I don't know if that's how you pronounce that. It's Manila.
You didn't know how to say Manila?
I thought it was pronounced weird, but I think it actually is just pronounced Manila.
It's just Manila.
That's weird to me. Like Manila envelopes. I don't know. It's weird to me.
Like a Manila envelope.
That's exactly what it is. So besides this sort of storefront, what it's also going to double as is a little arcade. There's going to be a 16-foot by 9-foot live stream wall, which is going to have a bunch of live streams going on.
Does Razer make monitors?
Probably.
Then it's going to be a bunch of Razer monitors on the wall.
I honestly don't know if they make monitors. If they don't, I think it's going to be the only peripheral that they don't make, because they make literally everything else: microphones, laptops, capture cards, everything. It's actually kind of disturbing. But on top of that, I guess there's supposed to be a few games that you can play there on the Razer hardware. So if you want to play it on a laptop, maybe you'll be able to do that. It'd be really cool. So if you want to go to the ribbon cutting ceremony, it's going to be there at, I believe, 10 a.m. at that shopping center. So if you're in the San Francisco Bay Area, go check it out.
Nice.
Yeah.
While I hate brick and mortar stores and I say we should just move towards our all digital future and accept it, I am up for anything that adds arcades to the world.
I think this is the way to do brick and mortar stores, right? So Razer, like I said, is a primarily online storefront, right? And right. I'll say it like it is. I'm a huge Razer fanboy. I don't care. I've had this Razer Tiamat headset for, before I got into high school, I think. So I've had it for 4 or 5 years now. I've had it for a very long time. And it's given me no problems. It's the best headset I've ever owned, and I'll forever buy Razer headsets because of this. And so I might have a slightly biased opinion, but this is the way to do brick and mortar stores. Have them as a sort of example storefront, right? So you've been looking online, you've been looking through Amazon and Razer's, storefront, and you're thinking, I might want to buy it. It looks cool. The reviews are okay, but I don't know if I'm going to like it. Now you can go down to the store and see if you're going to like it. And it's not a Best Buy. So, what else do you want?
You're right. As long as I don't see the words best or buy in the name.
Yeah, and there's nobody in a weird blue shirt with khakis trying to avoid me, then I'm okay.
People, I don't know if they just go out of their way to find the most incompetent people to work at Best Buy, but it seems like they do.
I don't think they're incompetent. I think a hiring requirement for Best Buy is you must hate talking to the public.
Well, it's not even, it's like you must hate talking to the public and you must barely know anything about technology.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel bad for bashing on Best Buy. If you work at a Best Buy, I'm sure you're a wonderful individual. Find new employment, please.
Yeah, we're really hitting Best Buy hard, but still, they kind of deserve it.
Yeah. So there you go. If you're a Razer fanboy like I am, and you're in the San Francisco, California area,
the Bay Area, as they say,
the Bay Area, as all the kids are calling it these days, then check it out. Let us know on Twitter if you're actually in that area and it's a cool place. Let us know, because I actually really want to know what this store's like and what this whole streaming area setup is going to be like. It'd be kind of cool.
I'd love to go to San Francisco. Yeah. Not that I would go just to go to the Razer store, but
I'm going there for a vacation simply to go to the Razer store. That's the entirety of my trip.
Exactly. I just go there, I take pictures of the Razer store, I'm like, all right, time to get back on the plane.
Yeah. Something I forgot to mention, actually, was it's going to be a little hotspot for the PC community, and they're going to run regular weekly gaming events. So.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So, there you go. Another reason this store is better than Best Buy.
Exactly. Because Best Buy doesn't run weekly gaming events. They run weekly... What's a video game events? Because they don't know what they are.
Yeah. So there are a few other stories here, but we're running long, so I'm not going to go into them. I'll run them over quickly. I'm not going to go into the stories, though. Dark Souls board game. The Kickstarter finished, and it ended at 5.4 million. I am super excited. I'll give you a link to the Kickstarter. You can check it out at your own volition. But I'm really happy about that. 1 million Xbox Live gamer tags are being released.
26 of them are probably the alphabet.
Yes. So these are very, very old gamer tags since before the 360 launch, according to the thing, or as the 360 launch. It's like the very earliest gamer tags.
Right.
And they're inactive, they haven't been used, so they're being freed up, and you can change your own personal gamer tag to them if you want to do that.
1 through 0 is also probably, because it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0 is probably also open.
Yes. So if... I'll give you the link to that as well if you're interested in that. And Yokai Watch 2, so a little throwback to one of the very first things we talked about on this show was Yokai Watch when it first came to the U.S. And now the second one is coming to...
Is it coming to smartwatches like I said the first one should have?
I don't believe so. But
Honestly,
it's
you want to make $1 billion, hire me at your video game company.
it's coming to the U.S. in September, and it's supposedly going to reflect where the show is, where the anime is in progress. So if you follow that, or you have a younger brother or cousin or sister or somebody who does, then maybe point them to this. I'll give you a link to that as well.
I was also going to say if the Nintendo Film Company wants to make tons of money and hire me. But I have a question, because there was that story a couple weeks ago about the Pokemon rights going out. Does Nintendo not own the rights to Pokemon?
From what I understand, they're in an agreement. So the Pokemon Company, I don't think is owned by Nintendo, but Nintendo might have say in how they do things. I'm not entirely sure about the specifics of it. So let me actually look it up, because I'm curious. I want to know.
Because I know, like, a couple weeks ago, it was something like a huge bidding war for the movie rights to Pokemon, and Legendary Pictures was, like, closing in on the deal.
Yep, so here's actually how it works. So the Pokemon Company was established through joint investment of 3 different businesses. And those 3 businesses were Nintendo, Game Freak, and Creatures. Game Freak were the guys responsible for the U.S. versions of the Pokemon games. Nintendo, who I assume is where this IP came from, I believe, and I don't know who
publisher of the games as well.
The publishers, and Creatures. I don't know who you are. Sorry, I don't. Let me click on your little picture. See what will you tell me? They're just an affiliate of Nintendo. So 2 out of 3 parts of the Pokemon Company are Nintendo.
Because I was wondering why, like, the Pokemon Go game was announced before Nintendo announced they were doing mobile games.
Oh, so maybe... Okay, so Creatures is actually a video game developer. So maybe the IP came from Creatures, it was published by Nintendo, and then ported by Game Freak.
Maybe they were responsible for Pokemon Stadium, to quote Brad Knight. You guys remember Pokemon Stadium?
Yeah, it's
I've watched a couple of your Pokemon videos, Brad.
I love Pokemon Stadium. I've been frantically searching for my N64 to play that again, but I can't find the damn thing. I have all the games, but
in a closet.
That's what I've been thinking, but I can't find the freaking thing. So there we go. We now know the mystery behind the Pokemon Company. It was the 3 companies that brought us Pokemon.
We've solved something here today.
Yeah, the publisher, the developer, and the porter, and not any of the porters. Just that's a terrible word. What's a good word for a porter?
A port house?
That sounds like an outhouse.
I don't know. A port studio? How's that?
Yeah, somebody email us a good word for that. I don't know. So that's the end of the news. So now we're gonna get into the next segment of the show. The part of the show that I like doing because I think it's fun. It's called the QuickTime Question. All right, so welcome to the QuickTime Question. And the way. I can't speak today. It's just...
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
The way.
Yeah, and I have a bunch of stuff to record today, so I'm going to be stuttering through all my videos today, so... Oh, God. So the way the QuickTime Question works is I'm going to ask Jacob a form of video game trivia. This could be in the form of a quiz, of a multiple-choice question, of a true or false question, or of a little game. I like to change it up week to week to keep Jacob on his toes and to keep him from getting too comfortable. So this week, I'm going to go back to the roots, and we're going to do a quiz again. The very first QuickTime Question was a quiz, so I've decided to go back and do a quiz. And this one is going to be about the first 2 Uncharted games.
Got it. Boom. Done.
And this one's kind of hard, so I'm not gonna time you on it because I want to give you some time to think.
Okay.
So they're gonna be 10 questions, okay? And
right.
This is a user-created quiz, and it was created by Anthony Hunter. I don't know who Anthony is, but you have a weird name.
Anthony Hunter, thank you for liking Uncharted.
Yes, and you have a weird name, and it sounds like Anthony, but it's not. So these are some... I went through this quiz earlier, and it's some pretty obscure questions. So I'm curious to see how much attention you paid, and how long has it been since you played the first 2 games? I'm curious.
Like a couple months ago, because I played the trilogy.
Okay,
again.
So maybe you will know, and I don't know any of these characters. So I'm trusting the quiz answers here, and I'm trusting your intuition.
Okay.
Ready?
Okay.
All right, first question. How many different outfits can Elena be seen wearing in the first game, Uncharted Drake's Fortune? 1, 4, 5, or 3?
I think it's 3.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Okay. That is correct. Elena can be seen wearing a total of 3 different outfits. She can be seen wearing a wetsuit in the beginning of the game. Next, she can be wearing a blue tank top with khaki shorts. And for the remainder of the game, she's in a pink top with those same khaki shorts on.
That's exactly what I was thinking through. In the first one, I thought she was wearing the blue tank top again, so I was like, maybe it's 2. But then I forgot that she was in a wetsuit in the beginning.
Yeah, there you go. And now, question 2. So everyone knows, and I'm reading these questions exactly as they're presented, by the way. Everyone knows Nolan North as the voice actor for Drake, but he has appeared in many other video games as well, don't we know it? Which game has Nolan North not lent his voice to? Assassin's Creed, God of War, Spider-Man 3, or Prince of Persia?
I think it's God of War.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
Alright, God of War. That is incorrect.
But Spider-Man 3
It is
isn't
Spider-Man 3. No,
I thought he was going to be like some random villain in Spider-Man 3. No, he's in The Amazing Spider-Man. Son of a...
North has voiced the main character in Prince of Persia and Assassin's Creed. In God of War, North voiced many characters with smaller roles such as Hades, a Greek soldier, and a fisherman. North was never attached to Spider-Man 3.
That's right. Son of a... I knew for a fact that he was in Prince of Persia, and I knew for a fact that he was in Assassin's Creed, because he's Desmond in Assassin's Creed. But I didn't know.
When I played God of War, it was before I was really big into voice acting. I'm curious if I went back and played it, if I'd pick him out immediately.
Probably. I mean, you know what roles he plays now, so...
Yeah. Alright, so question number 3. What color did Chloe Frazier's eyes appear in Uncharted 2 Among Thieves? Dark black, pale blue-gray, bright green, or light brown?
I think it's light brown. But that's an odd question.
Isn't it? It's kind of the nature of trivia, really. This is as pure trivia as you get.
Yeah.
So, light brown is your answer?
Yeah.
Light brown is incorrect. Chloe is the second female character to appear in the Uncharted series.
I know who Chloe is.
I'm just reading the answers as they're given. And throughout the second game, Chloe apparently saves Drake quite a few times.
Yes.
So, pale blue-gray was the correct answer.
Huh, I never really paid attention to her eyes. 'Cause she had that booty. No, I'm just kidding.
Great. So, question number 4. Which Uncharted villain has been shown to fight alongside Drake? Remember, this is only considering the first 2 games. I'm going to screw up these names. Oh my god, these names are awful. Gabriel Roman, Eddie Raja, Zoran Lazarevic. Lazarevich. Okay, sorry. And I'm completely screw up this one. Atok Navarro?
Navarro.
Navarro.
Yeah. All right, wait. Read me the first 2 again.
Gabriel Roman and Eddie Raja. Which one of these has been fighting alongside Drake? Or has fought alongside Drake in either the first or the second game?
I think it's Eddie Raja.
Eddie Raja? Is that your final answer?
Yeah, it's probably going to be the other guy, though, isn't it?
Eddie Raja is correct.
So
Eddie Raja helped Drake in the first Uncharted when they were being attacked by the evil descendants. I don't know what that means.
Oh, that's right. Okay, that's at the end of Uncharted. At the end of every Uncharted, pretty much. There's always some sort of supernatural twist, and at the end of that, like these weird like monster things came out of El Dorado. They looked like Wendigos from Until Dawn. If you played that game,
that's really weird.
Yeah.
So another clothing question.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So question 5: Chloe wears a total of 4 tops in Uncharted 2 Among Thieves. True or false? Total of 4 tops.
She wears that red one. I think she wears that red one twice. And then I think that might be false.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
Okay. False. That is incorrect. It is true. Chloe first appears in a red top, which she will wear for most of the game. Next, she will be wearing a black top, identical to the red one, other than the fact that it's black. Right. In the Borneo levels?
Yep, Borneo.
Borneo levels, Chloe appears wearing an orange top, and after Borneo, Chloe reverts back to the red top. At the end of the game, Chloe wears a blue sweater or coat. The last few levels take place in cold climates.
Here's the thing with that, right? It's hard to remember because every single shirt is literally the same exact shirt. They just changed the color of it. And number 2, when you said tops, I wasn't thinking of the end when she's wearing a jacket.
Yeah, the question is phrased weird. Shame on you, Anthony.
Anthony. We came into this being friends, and now you broke my heart.
Alright, question 6. Which artifact was never mentioned in either the first or the second Uncharted game?
Alright.
The Furbia dagger, the Centamia Stone, El Dorado,
Chintamani Stone.
Okay, so I guess that's not gonna be if you know what I'm talking about. El Dorado or Dagger of Zion.
Okay, so there's 2 daggers there, and I can't remember the name of the dagger in the second game.
I don't remember. I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, so I'll spell it for you. It's Xian. It's Dagger of Zion, I think is how that's pronounced.
Zion. I think that was the last one.
Yes, that was the last one. The other dagger was the Furbia dagger.
I think the Furbia dagger is the one that's in the game, so I'm gonna go with the Dagger of Zion, but I feel like I'm wrong.
Okay, Dagger of Zion. You are correct.
Oh, okay.
So El Dorado was heavily mentioned in Drake's Fortune.
That's kind of like the whole point of Drake's Fortune is El Goddamn Dorado, to quote Sully.
And Furbia dagger and the Chintamani Stone were both...
Chintamani Stone.
Chintamani Stone. God.
It's Chintamani.
That...
He might have misspelled it.
Yeah, it's C-I-N Tamani.
Yeah, but it's pronounced Chintamani. They say
that's weird.
Chintamani.
Anyway, they were both featured in the sequel.
Yes.
But fun fact, the Dagger of Zion is a very important artifact in the second Tomb Raider game, which is where he got that, apparently.
Look at that.
So question 7 of 10. Of the words listed, which describes Eddie Raja's gun? Gold, silver, identical to Drake's gun, or black?
I think it's identical to Drake's gun.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah, but I feel like I'm probably wrong.
Gold, silver, identical, or black? You went with identical, and you are in fact wrong. It's gold.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, Eddie Raja's gun is one of the most easily recognizable guns in the Uncharted franchise because, of course, it is the first gold gun.
Oh, yeah, I guess technically it is the first gold gun. I didn't remember that because I was mainly just thinking about how hard that final part was.
The gun is even able to be unlocked in the second game, though Eddie Raja has absolutely nothing to do with the game.
Right.
I'm just reading this. So. Which characters in the Uncharted series were voiced by Robin Atkin Downs? Tenzin and Atkoy Navarro. Atkoy Navarro and Eddie Raja and Tenzin, or Chloe Fraser and Rika Raja.
Okay, I know it's not the last one because Robin Atkins Downs did not voice Chloe Fraser.
I would like to think that he did.
I think he plays Tenzin and Navarro.
So Tenzin and Navarro is your answer?
Yeah, because Tenzin was the guy from the second one. Yeah, I think he's Tenzin and Navarro.
Okay, Tenzin and Navarro. You are correct. Robin Atkin Downs, the voice actor of Tenzin Navarro, is the only person in the Uncharted series to voice 2 different people. Eddie Raja is voiced by James C., Chloe Fraser's Claudia Black, and Rika Raja, who never actually appeared in either game, is voiced by Gwendolyn Yeo.
What's Rika Raja from, then?
I have no idea. According to Drake, which phobia does he tell Elena he suffers from?
Clowns. I need you to read it out.
All right, you are actually correct. It is chlorophobia. Chlorophobia. I don't, for the life of me, know how to pronounce that. I hate the phobias because they're all terrible, and you can't pronounce any of them. Is there a phobia of phobias? Is that a thing? During the last scene in Uncharted 2, Among Thieves, Drake tells Elena that he is more scared of clowns than her dying. We know that Drake definitely does not have holophobia, which is the fear of weapons or firearms, or acrophobia, the fear of heights. And Drake never says that he has Jepherophobia, which is the fear of bridges. Those are the other 3 choices that he gave you.
Yeah, because I figured. But I remember that scene very well because that was a cute scene between the 2 of them.
Yes.
They're just a perfect couple.
And Elena says that, and he says that Elena may very well be afraid of bridges. After all, she's come close to death quite a few times on a few bridges.
Yes.
So, last question, question 10. How many different people have fought alongside Drake in both of the games combined? This is Uncharted 1 and Uncharted 2. 7, 4, 5, or 8?
So, okay, let's see. Sully, Chloe, Elena. Then there was Flynn in that one, and then the guy at the end of the first one. So 5? Was 5 one of the choices?
5 was one of the choices.
And 5, I think, is... Yeah, because Cutter isn't in that one. So yeah, I'm going to say 5. Oh, does Jeff the cameraman count? Is 6 a choice?
No, it is 4, 5, 7, or 8.
Yeah, so it's 5 then.
Going with 5?
Yeah.
You are incorrect. The correct answer was 7. In total, there have been 7 different people which fight alongside Drake in the Uncharted series. The 7 characters include Elena Fisher, Victor Sullivan, Eddie Raja, Harry Finn, Chloe Fraser, Jeff, Elena's cameraman, and Tenzin. Of the 7 people...
Oh my god, I forgot Tenzin. I was thinking, does it count Jeff the cameraman? And then I forgot about Tenzin.
Yes.
Son of... we literally just talked about Tenzin.
Yeah, he was in the last question. Or a question before. And apparently all of them at some point have been injured, so it's not a great idea to team up with Drake.
Right. How many did I get right?
I'm clicking on the results. You have got 5 out of 10. You got a 50%, Jake.
I got a 50%.
You didn't pass.
Some of those were dumb questions, like what color is Chloe's eyes?
Oh, wait. Oh, look at this. They give you little percentages. So the ones you got wrong were number 2, only 51% got right. 3, only 53% of them got right. 5, you got wrong, and only 56% of them got right. 7, 76% got them right. So you were in the minority there, Jacob. That was the one about Raja's gun. And the 10th one, only 34% got the 10th one right.
Yeah, because everyone probably forgets about Tenzin, or maybe they forget about Jeff the cameraman.
I feel like Jeff the cameraman needs to be more important.
Jeff the cameraman was a cool guy.
But you didn't win this week, Jacob. You failed.
Especially on like a series that I just talked about earlier, how much I love.
Yeah,
it makes me look like a real poser.
I wanted to tie it into the show. I figured that would be a good way. But we are running very, very long here.
Yeah.
So I'm going to jump right into Das Spiel. So if you want to get in touch with us, talk about any of the things we talk about on the show, share your questions, comments, concerns, anything that you might want to discuss with either Jacob or myself, you can email us at CompletewithDLC@gmail.com. If you want the email to be directed to either Jacob or myself specifically, because you have a question for us or you want to talk with us specifically, then just make sure you specify that in... I said specify like 4 times in that sentence. Make sure you say it in either the... subject line or the body of the email so I can make sure that it gets to the right person. It will end up on the right desk, I promise. If you don't want to email the show and you just want to stay up to date on all the things we're doing, then Twitter is going to be the place you're going to want to go. We are Complete with DLC on Twitter. We put up all the information about the new episodes going up, whether it be for the show, for any of the various YouTube series that we're doing, whether that be the Pokemon Platinum Nuzlocke, or the new series that Jacob just put out yesterday, which was Questions for Me. And it's Jacob asking me a series of questions that you would ask a child. And be warned, it gets pretty deep.
For like no reason, like these are questions for a kid.
Yeah, it's deep, guys. It's I don't know, it's weird. Anyway, if you don't want to follow the show on Twitter, I don't blame you. But if you do want to keep up with the show's stuff, all the new episodes and whatnot, and say social media for squares, then you're going to want to follow us on either subscribe to us on either iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play, or very soon to be YouTube, because we are almost all caught up on YouTube, so you can get all the episodes there as well. Hopefully I can get to a point where I'm uploading them as they go, but we'll see. If you are using any one of the various podcasting services, then please use whatever review software or review system that they give you, whether they be stars, thumbs, arrows, whatever it might be. Let us know what you think we're doing right, what you think we're doing wrong. Point us in the right direction, because we're blind. We have no idea what we're doing here. Throw enough stuff at the wall and something sticks, right? So let us know. We take all the feedback you guys give us, and we try to improve the show constantly. Jacob, if they don't want to get in touch with the show, and they only want to talk to you because you're their favorite co-host, where can they do that?
They can get in touch with me on any sort of social media at itsjaygriff, ITSJOIGRIFF. I'm most active on Twitter, and I realized earlier when I talked about how much I love Uncharted, I forgot to mention how much I love the Vita game. Because it's just Uncharted on a Vita, and that's great.
Yeah, 2 things Jacob loves the most, Uncharted and Vita. Put them together, and it's like a love child.
Oh, yeah, except for that weird card game they made for Vita. That was weird. Brad, if they don't want to get in touch with me, and they want to talk to you for some ungodly reason, where can they get in touch with you?
If you want to get in touch with me for some reason, then you can do that on Twitter. I am Kalgny on Twitter, KALGNE. As Jacob so wonderfully pointed out off air, my last tweet was in 2013, to give you an example of how often I tweet. So,
although technically he's responded to things that I've tweeted or things that the show has tweeted, so but it doesn't count like replies as its own thing. So,
but I swear I do walk through the Twitters every now and again. It's where I get some of the news we use for this show. So I'm there. If you do use Twitter, I will respond, I promise. And you can check out the banner that I made in about 5 minutes. So, if you want to talk anime, that's going to be the place to go. If you don't want to use Twitter and you instead want to use some other service, then Battle.net is kind of your only other option there. I am Brad1261 on Battle.net. If you do send a request through Battle.net, let me know that you are a listener to the show, or just let me know in general where you heard the code so I can make a note of it on your little friend thing, because Battle.net is nice and let you make notes. That way I don't accidentally delete you in 3 months when I forget who you are. Nothing personal, I just have an awful memory. I believe that's everything.
Yeah, that's everything. I found out they made a book of Uncharted.
Did they?
Yeah, they made like a novel.
That's cool.
It's like a side story. Look at that. I'll come back. I'll take Anthony down.
He's gonna study up. He's gonna be ready for next time, Anthony. He's coming for you.
I'm coming for you, Anthony. What is my dog barking at?
I have no idea, but I think that's a show, Jacob. I think that's everything.
Yep. Let's end it before this dog just starts getting louder.
Yeah, it's been a good one. I think it's been a good one. We're back.
We're back, baby.
We're back in black.
Yeah. Right?
What's that from? That's from something.
That's a song by the Rolling Stones.
Is it a song?
No, Back in Black is by AC/DC. I'm thinking of Paint It Black by the Rolling Stones, but Back in Black is a song by AC/DC.
Yeah, if anything you've learned, we know nothing. But thank you for this has been Complete with DLC. I'm Brad Knight.
I'm Jacob Griffin.
We gotta find a way to make that not sound weird.
Yeah, maybe I just do the sign off every time. I don't know.
We'll figure it out, guys. Or we won't. I don't know. What the hell am I talking about? And thank you for listening.